What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Miami Boat Show. One of 6 locations. We're sneaking in during setup day, which is always a mix of excitement and chaos. Miami is 6 different locations. The 2 biggest ones for the Paramount Yacht audience will probably be the Convention Center for boats under 45 feet, and here at One Herald Plaza, where you have boats of every different shape, size, and color. So we're staying on our toes. It's kind of because something of a tradition here, sneaking in just to get the lay of the land and see where we need to be over the next few days. So thankful to have you guys on this journey with us. Always kind of amazing the small army it takes to pull a show like this off. They're expecting over 1,000 different exhibitors, 100,000 guests coming through the doors of this show. It is important to remember that there are the different locations, so be very careful if you're looking to see a specific boat or a specific manufacturer. You gotta find the location. It's gonna be a bit of a hike getting between the Convention Center and One Herald Plaza. Not a big deal, plenty of Ubers, a lot of transportation here in South Florida, but something to be mindful of, because you even have some builders that will be displaying at multiple locations. Hey, good morning. Starting to look like a boat show. Big Freddy display up front as usual. Princess is front and center. That's a new location for them this year. Always a lot of new models coming out from Princess. They're really thoughtful of how they use their boats' bottoms, coming out with on one hull, they might have, 3 or 4 different versions. That allows them to produce a lot of different models quickly. Kind of the king of the fleet here with the Valhalla 55. Always a bit of a showstopper. I got to imagine that there's at least tens of thousands of people who are going to climb on this boat during the show. And for good reason. The news out of Valhalla recently that we reported on in the magazine and at pmymag.com is actually, instead of continuing to grow with the 55-footer at the top end, they actually have a couple of hybrid boats, hybrid inshore, offshore, and bay boat that'll be coming out next year. So stay tuned for more on those. Got some leaking cokes there.
It's raining everywhere, I feel it. Let's see which one's leaking.
A lot of setup still going on. These guys have been moving in boats all week. Sierra continues to stay on its hot streak of new models. They have a 54 that's making its debut here at the show, and that we're reporting on probably in the next couple days. It's a really sharp color scheme out of the Miami-based Midnight Express. Cut down here, take a look at the new formulas. It's their 457. The boat's making its debut. More on that tomorrow. That's a pretty wild color scheme. That'll get some attention. Concept. Interesting. There's also a new model from Solace coming out this year. Getting on that boat on Thursday. All shapes and sizes. Certainly looks like the new 90 Marlo. They haven't come out with a new model in a little bit, so nice to see them here making their return. And my colleague, editor-in-chief of Passenger Maker Jeff Moser, will be getting aboard for us during the show. Stay tuned for that. Albemarle with a bunch of new models. I don't think they're gonna have that 53 here. Hopefully we'll see it again on the show circuit. The Albemarle 53 Spencer edition was recently featured on our cover. And it's just a really interesting collaboration. Got the Freeman team. Recent cover stars as well. You want to stay tuned, that was in our March issue, or you can check it out online at pmwhitemag.com. Senior editor Chris Dixon did a really nice deep dive into how Billy Freeman got his start, and how they really found a nice niche for themselves in the performance power cat section. Not sure what to say about that. Kind of cool. Looks like something you could have a fun day with. A little Mercury on the back. See, that's why you come to the boat show. You never know what you're gonna see. Just when you think you've seen it all. A lot of washing. Damn, a lot of drying. Let's see. So we have some brokerage boats from Denison down there. Solaris has been a really cool brand. It seems like they've been having a little trouble finding their footing here in the US. We reported on a couple different models. And I think the new announcement for Solaris is that, at least in the southern part of the country, they'll be repped by Nautical Ventures, who's kind of making a name for bringing different builders into the United States. For example, Windy, it's another line of boats that they've had some success with. And another brand that needs no introduction is, they're the dealer for Axopar and for Fairline, which you see right here. A couple new boats in their Squadron and Phantom lines that we've reported on. This UK builder really seems to be refinding its footing here in the US. Had some fits and starts over the last few years, but they seem to be back in a big way, which is great to see. So many options. We'll go straight, because I don't really like crowds. Schaefer Yachts. It's a builder a lot of people have been talking about. We reviewed this boat between a year and 2 years ago. Completely carbon fiber, not for everybody, but exceptionally light. Certainly get a lot of attention if that's your thing. Scout always coming out with some new models. their biggest flagship still to come, I believe this spring / early summer. Australian builder Riviera. I believe their new boat here is going to be a 58. Full fleet from Pardo. They're growing even bigger. I believe it's a 75 coming out of that builder, who also is the owner of Van Dutch boats, and they'll have a 75 as well, and those boats just look absolutely monstrous. We'll be reporting on that in the future. So many choices. Cruisers Yachts will have a new Flybridge model coming out this summer. Hopefully that'll mean a trip to the Midwest to see those guys. Absolute just seems to be a brand that's just doing really well these days. .48 coupe all the way up to the 75 Flybridge. A lot of versatility and options and choices there from the Italian builder. Ignore the growing trend of power cats. I don't think there will be any leopards actually here that we haven't already reported on, but we're hoping to hear some news about a potential new model. Ever popular Gosling's tent. Be interesting to know how many gallons of rum is going to be consumed at this show. That would be a fun stat. Amazing that this time tomorrow, show will be open and boat barrels will be running right through here. Iliad is a newcomer to the U.S. I believe they have, it's the 53F. So this is a newcomer to the United States, and a brand new model we'll be getting on during the show. Better shot here. Stay tuned for that one. And Vandal Marine. These guys we featured in a video that's on our YouTube channel. They made their U.S. debut at the Lauderdale show. Again, senior editor Chris Dixon recently had a pretty fun little adventure blasting over to Bimini with those guys. Stay tuned for that story in our May issue. Make sure you don't miss it. You can subscribe at pnymag.com/subscribe. Looks like a couple new Nimbuses. Is that how you say that? Nimbuses?
And that's it? Nothing over this way?
Rep by HMY. I had a fun story where I got to blast around Manhattan on a Nimbus. That was in a previous issue. You can find that on the website. But I left very impressed with that builder. Fresh from the desert, Mag Bay just builds a really pretty boat. This has been something of an interesting trend. More and more, we're seeing these kind of higher end ribs get Skipper and a number of different brands that are new. There's the bigger fleet of Axopars. During the show, my colleagues will be down here They're making their way from all across the country, coming from, we got the editor of Angler's Journal, Trade Only, Soundings, Passage Maker. We'll have a full crew down here, even covering the sail portion of the show. You can follow us at all of our different social media channels. That's where you'll get the most immediate reviews and walkthroughs from the show of all these models that we're walking through, like this brand new Lazara. We'll check that one out later.
Normally, I would tell you don't be a hard ass, but
Schaefer's been quite a force lately, or at least in recent years in the US. Brazilian builders is really huge in South America, and it seems like each year just growing their footprint here in the US. They have such a variety of boats too, everything from day boats all the way up through motor yachts. We've been talking about it for a while. We're hoping to make it a trip down to Brazil to really see what these guys are all about. There's been too many new models out of Sabre and Back Cove lately, but hopefully that'll change soon. Love any excuse to get up to Maine and see those guys. Pursuit continues its hot streak of debuts. This show coming out with a brand new dual console that we'll be reviewing as well. Sounds like it'll be pretty busy. We're just here for a couple days, but it will certainly be action-packed. So that is about it for the in-water One Herald Plaza. Again, if you come down to the show, make sure that you see a specific brand, make sure you know which location you're going to. We'll try to give a little preview of the convention center later as well. Stay tuned for more, and hopefully, we'll see you on the docks.